How's it going, fish heads? Today is my first requested video. It would be an honor for me to do this video for Billy from Fisho's Shore Fishing Videos. That's a bit of a mouthful, but I got it out. So the video is non-returning slides and how to make them. Let's go. So first of all, I'd like to walk you through what you need to make a slide. This is one I've bought, imported from South Africa. And here's one I've made myself. Not too dissimilar, but undeniably homemade. But it works exactly the same. And what you need to make this, you need some stainless steel. You need a TIG rod maybe. I mean, that will do. Or ideally what you need is spring steel. And I've got some right here. This is 2mm spring steel. This is the stuff you want. This roll here, 20 meters, it cost me £12. You can make quite a lot of slides for £12 out of this. You don't have to use 2mm. This is 1.5, same deal, just easier to work with. Spring steel is the best man for it, because when you're working with it, yes, it's harder to bend, but it doesn't stress as easily as a TIG rod would, for instance. These are the components you're going to need for the slide itself. You're going to need a swivel. This is a 300-pound stainless steel swivel. You're going to need either a zinc or a lead shot. This one is about half an ounce or so. It adds a little bit of weight to it, but most of all, it will hold the slide shut at the swivel end. And then you're going to need the bead to stop it from opening, which is located there, as you can see. Depending on what type of diameter steel you use, you're going to have to find different sized holes or drill them. So the tools you'll need to do this is a drill, and this is also very helpful for when the wire gets short to manipulate it. It's a little bolt with a 2.1mm hole drilled in the end of it. You will need some type of jig. This is, I believe, a 7mm. Yep, this is a 7mm drill bit that I've altered to use as a jig. I cut a little slat in there to hold the wire. Okay. You will need one of these, they help. You will need a good pair of cutters, if you're using spring steel especially. You will need a pair of round nose pliers, and also remember to put your glasses on. Right, I got glasses for you as well, and since you're so cool, right, you get the shades. Yeah. First up, you need 40 centimeters of it. And it's quite hard to wrangle, as you can see. So there's our 40 centimeters of steel. Now the first piece we're going to make is this leg here, but not the hook on the end of it. And we're going to move over to the vise to do this. This is an engineer's vise. Cost me 15 quid on eBay. Just in case you're fretting that you might have to lash out a load of money. It's really good, well worth the money. 15 quid and a £5 postage or something. It's fantastic. And so what I do here is I take the wire, leaving enough tag to work with, and I place it in the vise, in the slot there. Then I press that up against the vise and I close it. Make sure it's nice and tight. Now you can start the bend on it. If you're just using a TIG rod, you might want to warm this. Don't make it red hot, just heat it so it doesn't stress the steel quite as much. And it will tighten around itself, no problem to it. You want to get 5 wraps on it as close as possible. Keep them nice and neat. Best 2. It's 3. That's 4. That's 5. And you want to go well past it. Give yourself a lot to work with here, because these legs have got to line up, and when you open it they're going to disalign a little bit, so you want to go a little bit further than you think you should. Just like that. Now we open it up. So now we get to this point here. Now we want the legs to line up like in this one here. If you can see, we don't want the slide to be crooked like so, like one half of over here and one half out. You don't want that. It'll still work, but if the tide's running weird, it might slow the slide or stop it going all the way to the end. Now we're going to bend this down here like this towards myself here, just to make the first leg. Don't bend it too far. Okay, and now you see it's straight, it's going off to an angle that way, so you just bend it back a little bit like that. So now it's nice and straight. Now you come on to this leg here. This is the front one. Be this long one here, like so. There's the pivot point there to help you bend it. Actually, I want to come around a little bit more so the legs line up. You just have to eyeball it a little bit. This is also where the glasses are good. You don't want to get stuck in the eye with one of them things. So now they're reasonably aligned. We're going to open up the spring. To do this I use this Swiss Army knife, because it's got this nice broad screwdriver on it. Push it against the table. It's not a good idea to do this in your hand, obviously. You just push it through each coil, and it gradually opens it up. And you just work it backwards and forwards, turn it over, do the next side. You don't have to work hard at it. It will open up itself as you just do this backwards and forwards. It just has to be enough to get the main line through it. So that should do the job there. It's important to say that you should only use pliers without a tool surface on them for making the spiral. If you're going to put this in here, make sure it's a round nose pliers and not something like this with these teeth on it, because it will damage the inside of the spiral and it might cut your line when you're sliding, if you get a big fish. Next we're going to make is the long leg here, this one. So you don't want this leg to be too long. You want these slides to be as neat and compact as you can, but you need space to accommodate the bead and other stuff like that, so you can open and close it. So it's about 1 centimetre, it's a little bit less than 1 centimetre, 7 millimeters you want this gap here. And this pliers here suits the bill for me exactly. So I just hold it like this. So you just bend it away from yourself. So next, it doesn't matter if you get tool marks on this, there's no line going to be touching it. So next you have to make the leg, that hook there. So you just have to bend it over basically. Well, that's what you do. He says, did somebody say simply? It's a bit tricky because it's spring steel, but that's why we wear glasses. Sorry I had to cover it there, but yeah, you can understand why. And so now it's a little bit out of whack. So you just bend it back. When it's out of whack, you bend it back. So now I like to close it in the vise. Makes life a little bit easier. Just hold it in there with your thumb or whatever. Don't put your thumb in the vise now. That's not a good move. So that should be enough there. So when you get it like that, then you get your pair of pliers. It's good if the pliers have a little groove in them like this. I did that with a file. It's not hard, it takes 5 minutes. Then you take it and you flatten it. Like so. Push this way with this hand so it doesn't fold in on itself too much. So then you get your cutters. You get to decide length. I will add that I used to leave them quite long and they are extremely difficult to open then, so don't make them too long because you'll be cutting them for sure. You have to stabilize it a lot because it's going to twist because it's spring steel. There you go. So that's that there. Now the next step is to put the beads on it. So this is the first bead you put on it. This is to stop the slide from opening. So the first one is this one. And it's very irritating if you forget to put these on. Very irritating indeed. So never forget. And then you put on the zinc locking bead, which I'm going to show you how to make right now. So I just like to use either a lead or a zinc ball. And I just, because the steel's 2mm, so you need a 4.1mm hole. You might get away with 4mm, but I got a 4.1mm drill bit. To centralize it in the vise, I use this piece of wire here, just like this. Then over to the vise, because if it's crooked, it's hard to drill it. And then I just take the wire out through the bottom, like so. Then I take my drill with my 4.1mm bit, slowly and straight as possible drill the hole through it. There we go. So that's our zinc locking bead drilled, ready to go. So now we're going to bend the first leg into it. You don't have to be dead on with this, just around about will do the trick. Yeah, just about 5.9 anyway, 5.9 centimeters. So then you get you measure your 5.9 centimeters, which is there. Then you bend it. Like so. That's around about the right angle. It doesn't matter. I've seen them much steeper and I've seen them nearly dead straight, so it doesn't really matter. So then the next bit is the last leg. And that is 5.1 centimeters. So right there, 5.1 centimeters. So when we take our round nose pliers and we take it, and I'm going to move back a little bit because the the steel's 2 mil. So I'm going to move back a little bit. Now I'm going to bend it all the way around in a circle. Like so. And then all the way past. This is where this comes in handy. Just give you a little bit of extra leverage. It's just a bolt with 2.1 mil hole drilled in it. That's it. Because you need all the leverage you can get, really. Let's use this one. That's it there. Now I'm going to bend it back on itself a little tiny bit just to make it look nice. Like so. Now I'm going to straighten it out. This leg here. You'll see why. Just like that. The last piece of the puzzle is the swivel, of course. Slide it down. There you go. Now I need to get this ball over this piece of wire here, and it looks a bit long, so I'm going to trim it back a little bit. Down it goes. All the way to the end. So that's the end of it there. And the only thing that's left now is to bend this tag to hold it into place. That's it. So then I take my little bendy thing, slide it down over the end of it. Just bend that back like that. That's it. I'm just going to move it out a little bit more so I can get a bit more of a bend on it. And that's it. There you go. And that's the last bit there. Now it gives us a touch up with a file. So that's it there. This is homemade now, don't forget. I mean, I know people will buy them. No problem. I've seen also, you know, the stuff you can buy. It's not as good as this. It may be more fancy. It's got welds and stuff, but it's not as good as this one. This is stronger and cheaper. Most importantly, cheaper. So this is the one I bought, right? This is the one I made. There's not that much difference between the two. They work exactly the same. They're just as strong as each other. Pennies. And so to make this work, you need the arresting ring. And this is it here. This is it on the South African one. This is a solid ring that's been welded. This is a split ring. This is rated to 400 pounds. And it's got a little assist hook ring on the back just to clip a lead link onto or whatever, and a 300 pound swivel, and this ties onto the main line and goes behind the lead weight when you cast it out. That's all you need. One slide, Billy style. Thanks for watching. I'm Billy. This is Billy making slides. Wherever you are in the world, fish on, and I'll see you on the beach. Bye.